Hey guys, and welcome in today's episode where we are going to be reviewing this guy right here. Yeah, the Mammotion Luba 2. I think that I'm one of the few YouTubers out there who actually bought this with its own money. So this is my independent review where I bring you, well, the truth about this so far awesome mower, but let's get into the nitty-gritty. A mower that's so silent that my cat just stays there without, well, basically, it doesn't care too much. This is actually him mowing right now, and this is the sound that you can expect him to make. Not very much. Alright, so let's get started on this guy, shall we? A robot mower good for your lawn in 2024, 2025, and the future moving on. The thing is that this is the Mammotion Luba Mini that I have bought with my own money, so none of those, paid advertisements here. It is just my review after using it for about a month now. So yeah, let's just dive right into it because it's gonna be a juicy one. There's a lot of things you need to know about it because, well, advertisement is advertisement. But you know what? Real lawns with real people, that's a bit of a different story. So let's just jump into the juicy details. The Mammotion Luba Mini looks like something out of the future. It is a wireless robotic mower with GPS navigation, rugged all-terrain wheels, and no need for perimeter wires. It's pitched as a set-it-and-forget-it solution to lawn care. One that uses smart mapping, app controls, and onboard sensors to handle mowing with minimal input. And after several weeks of testing it in my own real yard, well, here's the honest truth. Yes, it can be a set-it-and-forget-it mower, but only after you put in some serious setup work. The results are excellent, but the road to get there, well, this is where the story gets interesting. This Luba Mini here runs completely wire-free, using GPS and an RTK station, or basically real-time kinetic, that's what it stands for the robot's positioning. Mapping your yard is flexible. You can definitely let the mower trace it automatically, or you can do it manually, driving it around the perimeter for, more precision. Manual mode is especially handy if your lawn has odd shapes, or maybe those narrow areas that you just can't let the rover do it by itself. You can name each zone and tweak settings like cutting height, frequency, pass overlap, and even schedules. You can even delay the mowing when it rains, or maybe assign different settings for each zone and manage everything, well, quite easily from the app. It even has an FPV mode, so that's a first-person view mode, using its onboard camera to give you a live view as it works. You can technically mow manually using this mode, but only when you're physically near the device, since, well, that part still relies on good old Bluetooth. And that's one quirk that I would like to circle back in about a minute. The RTK station is what makes this mower part of the next generation. No buried boundary wires, no digging, but of course you still need to place it somewhere with a clear view of the sky, on a pole, or maybe on the side of your house or garage, or even planted into the ground. It connects to about 28 satellites or so and sends real-time corrections to the mower using a downward-facing antenna, providing up to 2 centimeters of accuracy for this little guy. But here's the critical point. If you move the RTK station after you have done mapping your yard, well, you'll have to remap everything from scratch because it really doesn't like to do that. As for the hardware, this Luba Mini here features 4-wheel drive and can climb up to slopes of 80% or about 38 degrees and navigate over obstacles up to 3.2 inches high. Its omnidirectional wheels here on the front give it a zero-turn capability, which helps a lot when it's working in tight areas or making sharp turns. It's also easier like that on the grass, and it's not really gonna rip the grass apart because, well, it's much more gentle when doing so with these wheels. Guys, don't forget, if you like this video, maybe hit that like and subscribe, maybe even that notification bell if you're so kind and awesome, not to miss any of my future videos. And don't forget that I always get in contact with you, so drop your comments down in the box below. Let's carry on with this juicy video. That's powered by an 88 watts motor, which also has 6 reversible blades for extended use. The cutting height ranges from 20 up to 65 millimeters, and it's adjustable through the app. The hardware is the same, it's just that the mowing area is limited by, once again, the good old software. Now, there's something unique about it. The battery is removable. Its bigger cousin, it doesn't have that. So if your battery goes flat, then you'll basically have to send it in for warranty or tear it apart yourself because, yeah. But this is hot swappable, which is really cool. That makes swapping, charging, or replacing it easier in the long run because, well, batteries are batteries, and of course they're gonna, go flat at some point. And when it comes to staying connected, the Luba Mini here has a built-in SIM card with 1 month of free mobile data included, well, with every purchase. This basically lets you control the mower, get updates, and stream the onboard camera, even if your Wi-Fi doesn't reach, all the way across your yard. That SIM, though, isn't hot swappable, and unless you take the unit apart, you're not gonna reach it and you're not gonna change it out easily. But for most users anyway, it just works out of the box, and I think that that's the idea. So how does connectivity work in practice? It's split into 2 layers. You have your cloud-based actions, or I should say your Wi-Fi actions, like start, stop, pause, return to charging. They all work remotely and seamlessly using your Wi-Fi, or basically your 4G if you're using the SIM card. But if you want to manually drive it, or adjust the mapping, or maybe just use FPV to guide it in real time, you definitely need to be close to the device because you have to use Bluetooth. And that brings me to a real-world example. I have pets, and naturally they were curious about this new stormtrooper just rolling through the yard. A few times while the mower was trying to dock, one of the dogs blocked its path. So when that happens, it stops, it gives you a path blocked error message, and just waits. Of course, you can send it back to the docking remotely by sending it to charging option in the app there while using your wireless. Maybe you're not, at or near the robot and you're away. But if it's not able to do that quickly, then you will eventually drain the battery all the way down to 0. And even if you do hit the recharge button remotely, and if there's a ramp in the way and it misreads it as an obstacle, it won't move. The only fix for this is to actually take manual control over it, which again only works if you're in Bluetooth range, so that means that basically you have to be nearby the robot, where you could also, of course, pick it up by hand and send it home. But yeah, what's the purpose? If you're not home, you're not home, right? Anyway, here's the kicker. You can access the FPV camera remotely. So you can see what's going on, you just can't drive it remotely through the feed, which feels like a bit of a missed opportunity here. I mean, if you know your yard, you know your surroundings, you can definitely control it via wireless through the FPV, guide it around the obstacle, and let it go home, right? I mean, I know I could do that, but yeah, the software doesn't let you do that. Overall though, I could say that this is the smartest system right now when it comes to robotic mowers on the market. But of course, it is still not perfect. Full remote control of everything would be ideal, especially given how well the rest of the app works. It definitely seems like Mammotion has taken care, or I should say great care of the app, making everything available to you and feels natural and fluent, but I think there's still room for improvements. Speaking of the app, overall it's excellent. It's fast, it's polished, and packed with a lot of controls. You get real-time tracking, cutting stats, rain delay, manual joystick controls, and the ability to switch between zones, adjusting mower behavior, and of course customizing just about everything that you can think of. From the design of the lawn to basically writing stuff on your lawn and having it, branded over the season. Yeah, you have access to all of that through the app, and that makes it really, really cool. It definitely seems that Mammotion once again put a lot of effort into the software, and they're still rolling out a lot of updates. I mean, I have this mower for about a month now, and I think I went through about 4 or 5 updates, both for the app now and as well for the RTK station and also for the mower. So that says a lot. Now, let's talk about the quirks. Even though I mentioned a few here, yes, Luba still has a few more. Firstly, it's weirdly attracted to thin vertical objects. I don't get it, but bamboo stakes or plant supports or tomato cages or any sort of upright stakes that hold the trees together, it doesn't avoid them. It hunts them down actually. I've seen it get stuck between 2 supports like it was trying to wedge through a gate. And if you've got anything like that in your yard, definitely you have to remove them or at least mark them with a very big consistent no-go zone because it will get himself impaled each and every time. And while we're on the topic, trees require a manual no-go zone as well. It is a safety feature, but it means you'll get rings of uncut grass around every tree trunk. Unless of course you want a fuzzy look under your trees, do expect to do a little cleanup with a trimmer afterwards. This also goes of course without saying around the yard. If you have anything that it's there and it's sticking up over the grass, yes, definitely the mower can't do it. So you do have to use that trimmer, here and there around the yard in order to make it look tidy. There's about a 5 cm gaps from its central disc that's actually doing the mowing and the outside of the mower itself. So for about 5 centimeters, you're not going to get any coverage around the yard or maybe around any sort of obstacles that you may. Now, here's something surprisingly missing. Perimeter only mode. You can't just tell it to clean up the edges. It's all or nothing. If your lawn looks good but the borders are rough, you're gonna have to run a full mow just for the edge cleanup. I wish this was a feature where you could just do the perimeter and not do the whole yard, but yeah, whatever. Maybe you're gonna get this in a future update. And also, while on the subject of missing things, also missing is spot mow control. I had a few patches that were missed, not major, but enough that I wanted to send the mower just for that zone. Unfortunately, there is no quick way to draw a box or a temporary target in a small area on the app. Same goes for temporary obstacles like outdoor furniture or maybe a new planter. You can't just tap to exclude that area temporarily. You basically have to remap or add a no-go zone manually, which of course require you taking the mower out and walking it around whatever you're trying to avoid. Because that's how no-go zones work with this mower right here. You basically have to physically maneuver it around whatever you want it to avoid, so that way it updates the map and so it knows to avoid it in the future. And while Luba's mowing pod is usually methodically and clean, once in a while it skips a patch. It usually returns at the end to finish, but it can look unfinished mid-session. So yeah, not a deal breaker, but just something that you need to know. As for the charging station, okay, the setup really matters here. You can install it under a roof for weather protection, but it still needs a manually mapped route from the yard. If you move the stations, or maybe the RTK base, you'll have to redo the whole map. Still, to its credit, in my yard, which includes a bit of an obstacle course, it managed to make its way home for about 95% of the time. And that's impressive. I mean, Mammotion actually says explicitly that its charging station should be right near the yard that you're trying to service, and it should not be somewhere inside, and I basically put it somewhere inside and above the, ground level, using ramps to access it, and it still does a 95% good job. So basically, pretty cool, right? Yes, I know I'm the one making everything more complicated than it should be, but I definitely wanted to know that it's inside and protected better from the elements than just sitting outside. Even though it's rated to sit outside, and you can even buy one of those plastic overhead houses for it, I don't like it to know that it's sitting outside. I'm trying to protect this investment for as best as I can, and that means putting it somewhere, close to my yard, but basically with a roof over its head. An actual roof. Battery life on this is absolutely solid. You get about 165 minutes per charge under, ideal conditions. Mammotion actually estimates that it can cover up to 350 square meters per charge, but in my case, using medium speed settings on a moderately thick lawn, it manages around 200 square meters before heading back to the charging station. That means it kind of drops it to around 13 to 14% before it goes home for a recharge, and it actually goes out automatically once it's charged enough. That means over 85% to go and tackle the rest of the job. So this is definitely something to take note. Of course, also, depending on the speed settings that you've set, the cleaner the cut is, with the lower the speed. But of course, that takes up more battery. And finally, one last note, especially if you have a dog, like, I do, Luba does not detect, its poop. If there's anything on the lawn, it will drive right through it, and cleaning that off the wheels, that's not fun. So yeah, give the yard a quick sweep before each session. So what's the verdict, you might ask? The Mammotion Luba Mini is genuinely impressive once it is dialed in. It's quiet, it doesn't need boundary wires, it climbs like a goat and lets you customize nearly every part of its behavior. The app is excellent, the FPV is promising, and the built-in SIM makes it, feel modern and connected, even when maybe Wi-Fi is not up to par. It's not plug and play, it takes setup, patience, and some trial and error. But once you put in all that work, it really can be set it and forget it. Or at least most of the time. It is not fully autonomous, or maybe not yet, but it's way ahead of most of what's out there right now. And if Mammotion keeps updating this platform, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these pain points disappear over time. If you've got a medium-sized yard, some tech patience, and a dog that doesn't mind a mower buzzing by, then the Luba Mini is definitely one of the most capable and customizable robot mowers on the market, well, today. Another set of features for this guy I would definitely say that is, well, this right here, the adaptive suspension. It can take care of a bumpy looking yard without any sort of problem because, well, the wheels are always in contact with the ground, keeping it level, and of course that cutting disc is always going to be level with the blades of grass, and it's going to do an absolutely stellar job each and every time, regardless if it's going like up a slope or just, in the potholes in your yard. It's going to take care of it and it's going to look absolutely great. It does feature a lot of sensors like this vision here that basically has cameras and a bunch of sensors so it can go around obstacles as soon as it can find them. And if it doesn't really find the obstacles, then it has this bumper here that, it's going to kick in whatever is going to maybe try and run over a tree. It's going to stop the mower from doing so and make it go around. Of course, it has an LED light here on the front for mowing at night and also some lights on the back, making it look like, an F1 car. But yeah, it can do definitely mow lawns at night, and it's not going to be an issue with the sound because it basically makes little to no sound at all, so you're not going to bother anyone, not even yourself or your neighbors. Probably not even the cats. Alright guys, thank you a ton for watching. If you've got questions, tips, or maybe you own your own Luba experience, maybe drop them down in the comments so other people can share in the fun. Don't forget, of course, to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next review, which is going to be also a non-sponsored, my own thoughts and, well, my own experiences review. Thank you guys once again, stay awesome, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.